Hello plant friends, this is Miro from Basic Plants and welcome to my channel. I hope that you're all doing lovely today. I decided to make a video, and you will be surprised when you hear this, about Hoyas. Not really a surprise. Today I wanted to talk about what you can do when you receive new Hoyas. This will be specifically for Hoyas that are rooted already, so this will not deal with cuttings of any sorts. Let's just take a look at the Hoyas. The motorbike is passing by. That feels like a pop song. I have two Hoya carries here. One is with variegated margin. I think people call it not like that. I think people call this Hoya Genata, but I think the best way would be to say with a white margin or with variegated margin. And this one is Hoya carry with inner variegation. This one I think is also called Mediopicta aurea. The plan is to put both of those in one pot. I think they will look good together. And another Hoya we will look at today is this Hoya Diptera. We have many different things happening here. Some of them are not so good, some of them are okay. So you got your new Hoya. Now what? The first thing that you can do is assess the situation. This doesn't just mean to look over your plant to check if there are any pests, but also just take a look at the mix your Hoya came in. You can kind of see that this Hoya is in a mix of coconut husk. Hoya Diptera came in a mix that is mostly some type of peat. All three of these Hoyas are actually quite dry. Now, what can you conclude based on the mix? In my experience, Hoyas that come in this pure coco peat usually come from these big greenhouses where they are produced. The way that they water these is with an irrigation system, with a dripping irrigation system. So they make sure that it's always just slightly moist. They don't really water them by hand. The problem with this mix in your home, it's a difficult mix to have your plant in long term. Coco peat, when you let it dry out completely, it will be a little bit difficult to hydrate again. If you let them dry out too long, the roots will just die back, and the next time if you water with a lot of water, making sure that the mix is moist, you will probably rot the roots. It is my advice, and you don't have to take it, it is my advice that you repot Hoyas from this mix as soon as you can and pot them in a mix that is more suitable for your environment. I tend to do this with any other plant that I'm getting. I always check the mix, and if you have been growing plants for a specific period of time, longer period of time, you will know if the mix works for you or if it doesn't work for you. Now, there are times when you will receive Hoya from a grower, from a smaller grower, or from a collector, and it will be in a good mix. In that case, I will not repot the Hoya. I will just leave it as is. Or if Hoya has spent a lot of time in shipping, then I will not repot right away. I will let it kind of get adjusted to my home. Now, this other mix, coconut husk, this mix tends to stay too dry, especially for my conditions. Usually, Hoyas that come in this mix of coconut husk come from Thailand or from a place with high humidity. They're usually imported like this. This mix also doesn't really work for me because I have to water a lot. That's the first thing. And you can already see that we have dry roots already. See? So this Hoya already suffered a bit, and it will be a bit difficult to remove this coconut husk. And to be honest, I wonder if we have any roots that are alive, because from what I can see, many of these roots are actually dry. Now, I did not get to inspect this plant before it arrived to me, so we will see what we have to work with. The second thing that you can do, and this is what I also usually do, you can just take your Hoya under the shower, just make sure that the leaves are clean. But because today we're not in the shower, as you can see, this is not my shower, I prepared water with dishwashing detergent. So you can see, you will just take a sponge and make sure to use the soft side of the sponge and just clean the leaves. I'm getting into the tomato film category here. So, make sure to clean the leaves. And this also gives you a good opportunity to inspect your plant. You can see there is a lot of dishwashing soap there, and that's fine. I will rinse this after we're done. Really should have brought a towel with me. Because this Hoya is in coconut husk, it's best to let it soak for a bit before you try to remove it. Water is really your friend here. These roots, they look a little bit better. First of all, there are more of them and they're not so dry. So I think this Hoya is generally in a better condition. So I'm just gonna put her with her friend. Now we approach the fun situation of having Hoya that has a lot of leaves. What I will usually do is water and dishwashing detergent. I will put that in a spraying bottle and I will just kind of spray and rinse and spray and rinse. Okay, we kind of cleaned the leaves. Not really. So this is the small one. And now it's a bit easier to remove the coconut husk. We have some roots. I will just go with this plant under the shower so I can make sure that I remove the roots, the mix, not the roots, the mix as gently as possible. Okay, well, I'm back with two of my Hoyas. I will tell you about the situation. Definitely you need a bathtub or a kitchen sink to remove that coconut husk. I did not remove all of it. We will inspect the roots now, but first I need to get my Hoya Diptera out of the pot, so I'll just move the two carries off to the side. If you do plan to remove the mix completely from your plant, like coconut husk, just be ready to spend some quality time with your bathtub and with your kitchen sink, wherever you choose to perform this ritual, because most likely you will get something clogged and then you will just have to unclog it. It's fun. Some of the roots are dead, and the way to recognize the dead roots is that they are thin. The outer part of the root can come off. So those are the roots that are starting to die back. So you can just trim those. I mean, you don't have to. You don't really have to trim them, but it really depends. If you put it in inorganic media, such as leca, it doesn't really matter. You're probably going to experience some root dieback. But in organic media, this might actually accelerate the breakdown of your media. So we do have a lot of the hair-like roots. I think I'm gonna pot them like that. So I'm gonna use the mix with bark and sphagnum moss. I'm very bad when it comes to arranging more than one plant in a pot. Like, I can barely center a plant. It's just a fact. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. Kind of looks nice, actually. I like it. So this one will go here. This is the lost art of arranging plants in a pot. I mean, when I started recording it, it was daytime. So this is the result. This is Hoya Carry. We will adjust this a bit. I will give it a quick water. So, quick watering, sorry. So, you can see. This is about how much water I will use. I will just go like... What? This has failed me. By the way, it drips like that. So just slightly, not a lot of water. See, I can already see some dripping, so I will stop. And this is Hoya Diptera. And again, just quick watering. It is moist already, so this is mostly for demonstrative purposes. And there you go. And the reason these net pots are good is you will see on the mix when you need to water, you will see the bark drying out. And also, if you overwater, you can just leave them without the cover pot and you will not have an issue. They will dry out. That is it for today. I hope this helped you see what you can do when you get your new Hoya. I will leave them. That's a motorbike passing. We'll spray them a bit more. I will use Cumulus from the last video, or 2 videos before that actually, just to make sure if they have any spider mites that I cannot see. I will just spray them with that 2 times. and I think it should be fine. Hoya Diptera will probably get a trim because it does have a lot of these naked vines, such as this one. I don't want that. So probably trim it to get a more bushier look. Thank you for watching. Please make sure to like this video if you do like it, and you can always subscribe. Of course, leave a question down below if you have any questions about plants. Actually, what I would like to know is, what is your approach when you get new plants? Do you have some approach, what you like to do? Do you leave them in the mix? And if you do, tell me, how long do you leave them in the mix in which you receive them? Because for me, it's not very long. I love to hear back from you, so if you don't like my question, you can always leave something else in the comments down below. And that's it. Hope you're having a nice day, and I will see you again in the next video. Bye! Really? That's the second time you interrupted me today. Jesus. Bye!